All right, let's talk about a book that has been an absolute game changer for over 80 years. Napoleon Hill's classic, Think and Grow Rich. Seriously, this book has shaped millions of lives, and today we're going to pull back the curtain and unpack its core secret.
Now, the amazing thing about this book is that it's not just some guy's opinion. Nope. Hill was actually challenged by the great industrialist Andrew Carnegie to spend more than 2 decades, you heard that right, 20 years, studying over 500 of the wealthiest people of his time. We're talking titans like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and John D. Rockefeller, all to figure out what made them so successful.
And after all that research, what did he find? It all boils down to this one simple yet kind of mind-blowing idea that Hill hits you with right from the start. Thoughts are things. That one little sentence, that's the foundation for everything we're about to get into.
So, this all leads to the big question, right? The one that drove Hill's entire life's work. What if there really is a secret formula for success? A set of rules that, if you just follow them, could pretty much guarantee you'd achieve your goals. Well, that's the very mystery he set out to solve.
So, let's start our journey to uncover that secret. Andrew Carnegie was so convinced this formula existed, he thought it should be taught in every school in the country. He gave a young Napoleon Hill the challenge of a lifetime. Find it and share it with the world. Let's see what he discovered. Okay, so where does it all begin? According to Hill, the very first step to getting rich isn't just wishing for it. It's not hoping. It's something way, way more powerful. A burning desire. And Hill gives us the perfect example of this with the true story of a guy named Edwin C. Barnes. Now, Barnes didn't just want to work with Thomas Edison. He had, in Hill's words, one consuming obsession to become his business partner.
I mean, think about the nerve this took. Barnes was so broke he couldn't even afford a train ticket, so he literally jumped a freight train to get to New Jersey. Then he marches into Edison's lab looking, as Edison himself said, like a tramp, and announces he's there to go into business with him. Not for him, with him. Incredible.
And check out Edison's reaction. He didn't throw him out. He gave Barnes a shot. Why? Not because of his fancy clothes or his resume, but because of the look in his eyes. Edison said he could just see it. This guy had made up his mind, and he wasn't going anywhere until he got what he came for. That sheer, unshakable desire is what got his foot in the door.
But it didn't happen overnight, not even close. For 5 long years, Barnes did the lowest, most menial jobs around the office. But here's the thing. In his own mind, he wasn't a janitor. He was already Edison's partner, just waiting for his moment. He never, ever lost sight of that one single goal. He had burned all his bridges. There was no going back. And then, his chance finally came, but it showed up in disguise. Edison had just invented this new device, the Edison dictating machine. The problem? His own salespeople thought it was a total dud. They said, "No way, we can't sell this thing." But Barnes saw his opening. He knew he could sell it.
And sell it he did. He was so ridiculously successful that Edison gave him a contract to distribute and market it across the entire country. That partnership made Barnes a very, very wealthy man and even led to the famous slogan, "Made by Edison and installed by Barnes." He literally thought his way into a partnership and a fortune. That's the power of a burning desire.
But for every success story like Barnes, Hill also gives us a warning, a cautionary tale. Take the story of a man who got gold fever, started digging a mine, and actually struck a rich vein of ore. But then, the vein just disappeared. He kept drilling, found nothing, and finally, he just quit.
He sold all his equipment for peanuts to a local junk man and went home, defeated. But the junk man, he did something smart. He hired a mining engineer. The engineer looked at the maps, did some calculations, and said, the original miners failed because they didn't understand fault lines. I bet the gold is just 3 feet from where they stopped drilling. And guess what? That's exactly where it was. The junk man made millions from that mine, all because he didn't give up.
So how do you make sure you're not the one who stops 3 feet from gold? Well, Hill doesn't just leave us with stories. He gives us a very clear 6-step formula to turn that burning desire into actual, real-world results.
And here it is. Step 1. Be specific. Know the exact amount of money you want. 2. Nothing is free. Decide exactly what you're willing to give in return for it. 3. Set a hard deadline. 4. Create a plan and, this part's huge, start right away, whether you feel ready or not. 5. Write it all down. And 6. Read that statement out loud.
twice a day, and as you read it, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. That last step, that's the key to what comes next. See, that whole process of reading your goal aloud every day is designed to build the second crucial ingredient, unshakable faith. Because desire on its own isn't quite enough. You need faith to give it life, to give it power, and to turn that thought into action.
Hill has this great metaphor for it. He calls faith the head chemist of the mind. It's like the catalyst that takes the invisible energy of your thought and starts the process of turning it into a physical reality. It's the secret ingredient behind all so-called miracles.
But here's the most empowering part. Hill argues that faith isn't something you either have or you don't. It's not a gift you're born with. It is a state of mind that anyone can develop on purpose. It's a skill you can actually learn. And the tool you use to develop that faith is called autosuggestion. It's basically the principle of programming your own subconscious mind by repeating affirmations and instructions to it over and over again. When you constantly tell your subconscious mind something, eventually it just accepts it as truth and gets to work making it happen. That's exactly what step 6 of the formula is all about.
So, when you combine a burning desire with that unshakable faith, you start to understand the ultimate secret that Andrew Carnegie wanted to share with the world. You realize that you truly are the master of your own destiny.
The poet William Ernest Henley wrote those famous lines, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul." It's powerful stuff, but Napoleon Hill argued that the poem left out the most important part. How? How are we the masters of our fate?
And this, right here, is the great secret of the whole book. The reason you are the master of your fate is because you have the power to control the one thing you can truly control in this universe, your own thoughts. By mastering your mind, by consciously choosing what you desire and what you have faith in, you can master your entire life. So, it all comes back to that simple idea from the beginning. Your thoughts, supercharged with desire and faith, literally create your reality. So the only real question left for you is the one on the screen. What will you choose to build?